speak in front of here to really great students. I was make a mistake, journalist, but it's students. And thank you for Karin. Actually, she is my friend and she used to work for Tempo for inviting me here. And I want to talk something about my experience as a journalist. And then I hope, because some of you, I think study journalism, right? And then I hope that my story will make some of you want to be a journalist. That will be a great journalist. And then I will start with the reason why I choose to be a journalist. And then when I wrote this paper, actually I already think the serious title, Voicing the Voiceless. So it's like there are a lot of people that really, they're not lucky in their life, people under occupation, people, the minority people get the pressure from the majority, and then at the time, what if I can be useful for them? I can make the story for them. I can, probably I can change the situation that make them better. But then I think this title is quite serious. And then probably actually I'm not that kind of serious too. So I changed my title, it's becoming Enjoying the Life. So why I choose to be a journalist? Because I want to enjoy my life. Because my life is, we just have one life, right? So I just want to enjoy my life. So why journalist? That's because I'm just being selfish actually. I want to do whatever I want to do. I want to be free. And no pressure to me what I can do or not. That's the actually the idea. So I'm so selfish. But then I really think at the beginning when I become journalist, the first thing is actually that's against discrimination. I studied in international relations of Gajah Mada University. And then at the time, the foreign ministry had the requirement of the minimum height for people who want to work in the foreign ministry. So it's like the minimum height is like 155 centimeters. And then actually I'm 155, but I just against the discrimination. So I just drop it, and then I thought, so what job that I could get? And then I don't want to work for the companies. And I was quite a long time being an activist for NGOs. So I know the Swiss NGOs, and then I think, okay, I cannot work for NGOs too. So that's, I don't want to work to any crooks in the companies or in the NGOs. Then I think, so what's the best job for me that I can do anything that I want? So that's the journalist. I can propose the idea, I can write story, and it's really good if the story can be useful to others. So it has good impacts to someone else, maybe just like one person, or at least me, and then else is, and then better if the public. And of course, the voicing the voiceless. That's what the idea at the time. Because I was a volunteer of the Legal Aid Institute and also involved in the NGO that is active as the labor and the farmers at the time. So the situation for the people in the field is quite difficult. So that's why I want to have a voicing and voiceless. And then how to be a journalist? Because I didn't have any knowledge of journalism. I studied international relations. I never had any experience in the media, even in the campus media. Zero experience. So then, thanks God for LP3Y, that's the journalism training institution in Yogyakarta. So I got the fellowship for 6 months. And then I worked for Bernas. And then I was quite lucky. I think I'm considering myself as a lucky person. Because when I become a journalist in Bina, so it's like just 2 months after that, there was a big story that my friend, the journalist friends, Udin, was murdered because of the stories. And the case is not resolved yet till now. And that's opened my opportunity to the bigger world. So I knew more journalists, media, foreign journalists, that is really opened the gate of my journalism life. So what I have found so far, I always find new things, new information, even better, even before others know. Probably it's before all of you knows about the information. I already knew it for a long time, or at least like a day or a week. And then meet new people. That's really interesting. Sometimes they recruit too, but many really good people. And then, but actually the key is in my own hand. It's like new things, new information, new people. It can be really good for us. My life is not really boring, but probably for some people, because with new people, they don't like it, or because the meet group or new information that make really you have a stomach ache. So, so the key is in my own hand to make it like a good for me or not. And I will never forget about the big experience that I have. So that's Udin's case that I told you about, the journalist murders. So it's just like 2 months after I became a journalist, I was involved in this investigation of the Udin's case that haven't finished yet till now. And the last integration day commemoration of Ismore at the time. And that's the situation that's really terrible at the time. And then that's the first time when I get there, I knew that East Timor would be free. Because you know that usually the military always says 80% of East Timors want to join with Indonesia. They want to be part of Indonesia. And when I came there, suddenly I found many high officials there helping me. That actually they support the independence movement. They gave their money, their salary to the independence movement. So then I already knew that East Timor will be free from Indonesia. And then the reformation period, of course, when Suharto stepped down, that it's really a big event for Indonesia. That I was quite lucky to see or to witness all this changing in Indonesia. And then referendum in East Timor, the ballots and time, that's one of my changing, like the life changing for me, because that's the first time that I was really trapped, like in the shooting or in the fighting, that make me feel that, okay, actually I can die anytime. So after that, there is a like life changing, life attitude changing, that I have to be really ready to die anytime. So I have to like do good thing every day, or doing my best every day, that I will not have any regret if I have to die tomorrow or even the next hour. And then Palestine and Israel conflicts, that's also make my knowledge or even the attitude to live, it's quite different too. And then chasing stars in hiding in in super maximum prison in the Philippines. That there was some mutiny of the young officer in Manila in 2003, and this person, it's Gringo Nasana, the politician. Actually, he was suspected as the mastermind of the mutiny, and he was in hiding. That I had to find this person to interview, and also Nurmiswati, that's Bangsamoro, the South Philippine leaders. That's the prison. At the time, there is a special prison in the in Indonesia. We have Brimob, so that's the Philippine Brimob. Then visiting nuclear plants in France. Actually, it's really changing my attitude with nuclear too. Or actually, it's make me really like, okay, we are right that we have to oppose the nuclear plants for Indonesia. That's, and then covering Bersih movement in Malaysia, it's also the reformation movement in Malaysia. And then covering huge meeting of Ahmadiyya in Singapore, it's also the minority in Indonesia and also in the world. And then that's the last time, the last May, 14 Rohingya camp in the isolation area in Sittwe in Myanmar. That I have to smuggle myself to the area, to the isolation area. It's probably just like 13 or 14 kilometers. And it's like a big prison for Rohingyas. And then it's like we have to pass all immigration and the police in the airport to get through there. Okay, this is just pictures. This is in '98 when a couple of days before, a day before 12th of September. This is the violence after the ballot in Timor. And that's starting the fighting, shootings, and because this is in the hill, and a lot of people from down there going to the hill, and then they bring their weapons, and then they ask us like, "Are you Indonesian? Are you Indonesian?" And then when I said yes, it's like, "See, that's all the troops that killed us," and then with this, what you call it, with the weapon that they always doing like this in front of me and my friend. So it's like, okay, they're going to kill me or not? This is also, that's the time where the fighting is almost started. This is in Palestine. So this is the border between Ramallah and East Jerusalem, where the Israeli troops close the border. So the people, usually in the normal time, so it's just couple men crossing this border. But at the time, I need like 3 hours just to cross the border, this one. And then the people just bring everything in their hand. This is also in the Palestine, where the Palestinian youngsters, they just spend their time, the night time, just like them. So they don't have any good life, especially at night. This is the like apartheid wall between the Israeli and the Palestinian area in the West Bank. This is the Jewish quarter in the old city, so it's quite clean. So we will see the difference between the Jewish quarter and the Muslim quarter. This is the settlement in the West Bank, the Israeli settlement. This is in Myanmar, it's Sittwe. I told you about the Rohingya people in their camp. So this one is in the unregistered camp. So they didn't get any assistance from anyone. This is also the unregistered camp. So it's just real in the beach. So that's crazy. So it's like the prison just limited by the sea. This is the family that I found. Their father left, and the father is in Aceh right now. So my friend in Aceh, I asked them to find someone from this camp, and then he found this father, and then I found this family. So then they called from this camp at the time. So there is a discussion by phone discussion with this family. That's the afternoon life at the camp. They didn't do anything, so it's just laid down, talking with neighbor. And then challenging interviews, that's the lucky thing as a journalist. I met with a lot of important people. So it's like the president, prime minister, deputy prime minister, that's all this place, and then the opposition leader. So that's really, really good life as a journalist. Because sometimes if you try to stop the president, and then if you just the ordinary people, probably the passport press or the security guard will stop you or just arrest you. But if you're a journalist, so just let them you. So just let you to talk to him directly. That's Shimon Peres, the foreign minister of Israel at the time. I met in Tel Aviv. That's was done with Pervez Musharraf, that's the Prime Minister of Pakistan. That's with Helen Clark from the New Zealand. And then what needs to be had? Always remember who's the God. The God, as a journalist, is the public. So it will set the integrity. So the journalist has to have integrity, and then you have to remember about who's the God. It's not, of course, not God Allah or whatever, but it's the God in the media, the God of the journalist. And then knowledge, of course, skepticism, of course, ideas, because you have to think about what you want to write. Confidence, you have to have confidence when you talk to the people. Especially when you talk to the Prime Minister, President, you need the confidence. Good communication, hard work, and persistence, of course. Then creative, because it's like, if I was blocked, so it's like I had to interview normies who are in the prison, and then I cannot say that I'm a journalist. So what I have to do? So I have to find the creative way to do all those things. Spontaneous, but not careless, of course. We have to think our safety too. And then patient. That's for example the voiceless, that's the patient. If you don't have any patient, then it will be really hard for this kind of assignment. And then networking, it's really helped. I could not go to Myanmar without networking. I could not go to Palestine or Israel without networking. And it's interesting. This is the person that I went to Singapore just a day, just to interview this person. This is the person who, sorry, I put in Indonesian language. He gave the money for the invasion and the military operation in East Timor in 70s. So that's really hard to get him. And then when he said, okay, I can be interviewed, but I'm in Singapore. And then Tempo just sent me to go to Singapore for a couple hours and then interview this guy. There's Robbie. He's really popular as Robbie Katek, but it's Robbie Sumangpo. So he's like the closest person of Benny Mordani, General Benny Mordani. So impacts, that's information, of course. The result of my work is information. Helping others, that's possibly, because some people, like Setia Novanti, probably will not get the assistance from the media, of course, but the public will get the assistance. And then getting new knowledge, experiences, and lessons of life. That's it's really important. And then changing the attitude of life that I told you that right now, that after like East Timor or Palestine, that okay, I think I have to be ready today in time. And then the other, of course, is a nice part. That's in the world. That's in the border between Israel, Jordan, and Syria. And then that's the Egypt. Paris, just a couple of weeks ago. It's also Paris. That's Munir Pet. I'm sure that you know Munir, the human rights activist that was murdered. And the Dutch government make a name for the road in The Hague. That's nice. That's in Ternate, not in other part of the world. So that's in Ternate. It's really good. And then it's not always serious. See? Selamat datang Pak Gus Dur. They know this is in the United States. See? We have these things too in Egypt. It's the belly dance. That's also in Ternate. I can enjoy this one. It's the fun things at temple. Let's sometime just do it like that. And this is the last trip that I had in Luxembourg, the crisis reporting. So this is the ASEAN chapter. So, never enough to say thanks for my life.